And hello everybody, and welcome back to episode 3 of my series booking Pro Wrestling Guerrilla here on Total Extreme Wrestling 2020. Unfortunately, we start today's episode on the medical screen. As you can see in front of you, Jeff Cobb's broken forearm has not quite healed yet. We were not able to hold All-Star Weekend during the 4th week of April, as I had discussed and hoped for last episode due to scheduling conflicts. So many members of our roster work for bigger North American promotions, be it New Japan's American branch or Ring of Honor or CMML or AAA. So unfortunately, week 3 was the best compromise that could be gained from this. We're going to turn a blind eye to the fact that it is a Wednesday in game and we're holding the first night of All-Star Weekend. There's no need for judgment here. But yeah, with that out of the way, we'll get into booking the show. And in our first match, Black Taurus and Laredo Kid team to defeat Dragon Bane and El Hijo de Canis Lupus in 15 minutes and 19 seconds when Laredo Kid pins El Hijo with a Laredo 630. Finally, Laredo Kid gets his first win in PWG. He was previously 0-2, having taken the pinfall losses in both of his multi-man matches. Unfortunately, Dragon Bane was off his game, which severely limited his performance down to a 41, but elsewhere in the match, Laredo Kid had a 58, Black Taurus had a 53, and El Hijo had a 50. This match got the crowd hotter and got the show off to a strong start, which is always nice to see. As you may see here, Madison Eagles has joined us as a road agent. This is due to the aforementioned scheduling difficulties I talked about. Unfortunately, as this is a Wednesday, Excalibur has conflicting duties with All Elite Wrestling, so I had to hire another road agent, and I thought Madison Eagles would be a very fitting selection for that. Moving on to the second match on the card. Tony Deppen defeats Ricky Marvin in 14 minutes and 58 seconds by pinfall with a knee trebler in a 60 rated match. Tony Deppen is now 3-0 in singles matches in PWG to start 2021. Ricky Marvin's old school heel gimmick has gotten an initial rating of adequate, however I've only brought him in for a one-off appearance for this match against Deppen, but with that performance that does have to make me question whether we should be bringing him back on a longer term deal. He's also not dealing with the declining physical abilities penalty, so he could be someone to look out for to bring back in the future, although I have no concrete plans to bring him in right now. Following the match, Tony Deppen takes a microphone from the ringside area from the announcer, and he says that he's 3-0 in 2021, and he wants a title shot. He doesn't care if it's Bandido having to wrestle in 2 nights. He doesn't care about Jeff Cobb's arm. He's the only man in PWG with a 3-0 record in singles competition, so he believes that makes him the next contender. Only a 37 rated promo there, unfortunately. Angles and segments aren't really the strength of PWG, and there's clearly haven't been an emphasis on the first 2 shows that I've booked, so I don't mind the lower rating for that. Then in our third match of the night, Jacob Fatu defeats Blake Christian in 15 minutes and 11 seconds with a Samoan drop in a 61 rated match. Jacob Fatu gets a 61 rating, whereas Blake Christian had a 53. Unfortunately, the match was a little too short for an important match in the eyes of our audience, which I would say has more to do with Fatu standing with the audience as opposed to Blake Christian's. But a really good performance here from both men, I feel. Both men have big things coming up in 2021, assuming all plans go as scheduled. Then, in our next match, Flamita and Rey Horus defeat the Velocities in 14 minutes and 48 seconds when Flamita pins Paris de Silva with a Fly Flame. Unfortunately, Paris de Silva was really off his game, only got a 49 to Jude London's 59. Interestingly, Jude London already outperforming Rey Horus. Rey Horus had a 56. We've talked about many a times. Unfortunately, Rey Horus has an awful gimmick. We are currently attempting to change that, and I think I will pull the trigger on that tomorrow on the second night of All-Star Weekend. Then moving on to our next match. Brody King defeats Caveman Ugg in 15 minutes and 25 seconds by pinfall with a Gonzo Bomb. Clearly I have my mind on Lonzo Ball and the New Orleans Pelicans. Only a 56 rated match here, which is a little unfortunate. Brody King with a 59 and Caveman Ugg with a 46. Similar to Blake Christian versus Jacob Fatu, this match suffered because it was a little too short for the audience. And likewise with Fatu versus Gresham, I think this is more a testament to Brody's standings with the fan as opposed to Caveman Ugg. Then moving on to our next bout. In what I would call An international dream match, Dragon Lee defeats L. Lindemann in 19 minutes and 36 seconds by pinfall. 68 rated, which is an incredible rating. Dragon Lee gets his own 68 and L. Lindemann gets a 52. He was certainly boosted by his great rating for his cocky gimmick, but like with Ricky Marvin, this is currently just a one-off appearance. I've only signed him to one appearance, but with a rating as strong as this, I'm almost forced to consider bringing him back in the future. And interestingly, the tag team titles are still vacant from Desmond Xavier and Zachary Wentz signing with NXT, so perhaps L. Lindemann and a certain tag team partner of his could be an interesting shout for those titles at some point down the road. And speaking of his partner, T-Hawk faces Jonathan Gresham but is unsuccessful. Gresham defeats T-Hawk in 20 minutes and 8 seconds by pinfall with a 630 splash. This got a 72 rated, which I'm absolutely ecstatic with. Gresham seems to be one of our best workers in the company. He also had a match in the 70s with Jordan Oliver at our last show. And then our main event will be Jeff Cobb challenging Bandido for the PWG Heavyweight Championship. This all spawns back to Mystery Vortex 2 months ago when Jeff Cobb attacked Bandido after the main event. Unfortunately, we had to postpone the booking of this match for a little while due to Jeff Cobb breaking his forearm, as we've mentioned. We tried to push back the match as far as we could to give Cobb time to heal, but scheduling conflicts with the talent took precedent, and unfortunately Cobb is having to go into the match at less than 100%, and the result is a 70 rated match in a bout that had superb wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. Bandido defeats Jeff Cobb in 19 minutes and 44 seconds with a Revolution Fly, making his first defense of the PWG World Heavyweight Championship. Bandido with a 78, but unfortunately, Jeff Cobb, the injury he worked through took a big toll and he was down to only a 48 rating. Obviously, I believe Cobb is capable of much better than that when he's at 100%, so this might have to be a match that we revisit down the line. You have to certainly consider that Cobb probably has a stake to another match when he's recovered from his injury. There were also, unfortunately, times that a lack of psychology were on display, meaning the match was only 70 rated and was outperformed by Gresham and T-Hawk before this, but all in all, I think this is still a very strong rating. Bandido is incredible. He's had all of his performance in the mid to high 70s so far. You can see why he's the champion, and I'm very happy with this match. For our post-show speech, we will give compliments to Bandido for his great performance against Jeff Cobb and arguably having to carry the match a little bit due to Cobb's injury, for Jonathan Gresham for having the match of the night, and then I suppose we'll also go with T-Hawk because he was Gresham's opponent, and we did the same last month praising Jordan Oliver, who was Gresham's opponent. Bandido was very happy, and Gresham was pleased, and T-Hawk seemed pleased. That will do it for the third episode of the series. That was the first night of All-Star Weekend. Make sure to tune into the next episode for the second night of All-Star Weekend. We'll have to wait and see if Tony Deppen does get his PWG Heavyweight Championship shot against Bandido. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like, leave a comment telling me your thoughts on the series so far, and also please subscribe to the channel. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one.